Anyway, this is the
Yeah, after.
after
Well,
seminar.
as I was saying, Mike, just I don't know exactly what I was saying. As a small employer, and I had the mentality that as a contractor, I could hire in-house carpenters, and they're kind of expendable. If they're not showing up on time, just get a new one and fire them. And if they have personal problems and are showing up late or taking off early, just get guys who are reliable. And well, good. I'll tell you what, in the construction business right now, good carpenters are really hard to come by. So if you got a good carpenter, figure out what you want to do with them. I had a guy who's been working with me now since 2006. He showed up late habitually, right? And I wanted to fire him because he was late. He was an excellent carpenter. And guess what? He still works for me because what I did is I shifted my mentality around him. He likes slow mornings. This is how he is. He doesn't really want to show up until 10 a.m. at work. And that's just not standard in construction. It's like a 7 a.m. start. But I didn't fire him. And he has turned out to be the best carpenter as far as talent that I've ever had. And I'm so glad I didn't treat him as expendable, right? And now, so I learned him. He's fine working till 6 or 7 p.m. even.
Oh, that's fantastic.
9:30 or 10, he puts in 8 hours. Sometimes he'll put in 10 hours, but he just doesn't like to start early. So I had a little bit of flexibility on my end, and I kept him around, and now he's been with me 16 years. And when people request him, hey, send me Randy, right? He's awesome. I'm like, okay, I'll send you Randy, and I'm so glad to have that resource because now I'm valuable. My company is valuable because of the employees I have, and they know them by name because they're really, really top talent. So anyway, I just wanted to speak to that real briefly.
You know, I think it's a really good point because um, I think employers, small business people especially, and corporate America has a way to do this too. I'll explain to you, but it's like we have a tendency to get rid of people instead of see if we can save them. I had a guy when I was a partner in PST. No, I was a branch manager, but his name's Andy McPherson, and I tell the Andy McPherson story all the time. Andy was terrible. He was a sales rep, but he was just god awful. Everybody else was selling 3 to 7, whatever accounts a week. He sold one. So I sat down with Andy because it was hard to recruit people. It was commission only back then. And I said, Andy, let me ask you a question. This is money motivated, but I said, if you could make whatever $1,000 a week in those days, what would you do? He said, I don't know. I said, go home, talk to your girlfriend. Say you make $52,000 this year or 100,000, whatever it was. What would you do? And he came back 2 days later. He said, I talked to her. We would go climb every 16 or 18,000 foot peak in the world. We'd go pick 10 of them and take a road. I say, okay, I want you to go plan that because I'm going to show you how to do it. If you just sell 3 times as much, you can do it. And believe it or not, Andy McPherson, this is a short story, turned into my #1 sales rep.
That's awesome.
For 6 months. He quit. And the last time I heard from him, he sent me a postcard from I forgot, India. Said, just climbed so-and-so peak. Thank you so much. Still have the postcard. So it's like even your worst employees, whatever position they are in,
Mhm.
it's usually something, there's a wind blowing against an employee for good performance, which is good bosses, good coworkers, being proud. There's a wind blows against it, which could be their drug users, that'll blow against it, or lousy compensation, lousy communication, whatever. You just got to find a way to push your employees with all this good stuff. I'm sorry to go on that long.
Oh, that's all right, Mike. No, that's a great story.
I'm going to stop this right now. We're going to start again in a sec, okay? So, hey, thanks for joining Stephen and Mike on a quick talk.